Okay, I'd like to call the Brimfield Township Board of Zoning Appeals for May 18th order. Okay, bit of a roll call.
Bruce Nippenberg.
Here.
Scott Etling. Here. Vince Murdocco.
Here.
Ed Schutte, absent. Sean Phillips.
Here.
Clayton Popick.
Here.
William Kramer. Okay, also is myself, Michael Ladd, Economic Development Director, and Zoning Inspector. Lauren Kaufman is out sick. Brian Gardner is here, and Mark Gadetti is not here tonight, but he is available if we need him by phone.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have an agenda for this evening. Everything been duly advertised?
It was.
Okay, so we have an agenda. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we accept the agenda.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the agenda. Roll call, please.
Bruce Nippenberg.
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Murdocco.
Yes.
Sean Phillips.
Yes.
And Clayton Popick.
Yes. All right. If you have not done so and you're planning on speaking this evening, there's on the table. There are also some agendas on the table. So those who will be speaking tonight, if you would please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you will give before this board is to the best of your knowledge an accurate and truthful presentation of the facts? If so, we'll start here. Say I do, and then state your name and what case you're here for.
I do, Jerry Ewing and Pride One Pine LLC issue.
Okay.
I do, Scott Barnes with the Market Science. This is the Grant Oil island sign.
Okay.
Michael Woolman, engineering, representing JRS Development.
Kate Barber,
And one,
Kevin Gerald, Point.
Okay.
Debbie Campbell.
And was there anyone else? Okay. All right, thank you very much. Is there any old business? Okay. We have minutes from April to approve.
Yes.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the April minutes.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We have a roll call, please.
Bruce Nippenberg.
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Abstain.
Vince Murdocco.
Yes,
Sean Phillips. Clayton Popick.
Yes.
The first application this evening is for a zoning variance application continued. This is for the Pride One LLC. Variance request. Applicant is requesting a variance for a 25-foot building separation. Zoning resolution section 400.10.B, 0.56.L.5. Principal building separation requirement. The minimum separation requirement between dwellings shall be 35 feet. Okay. I think we had a couple of blocks that we weren't clear on last time, and did we get that cleared up?
Yeah, so we, per the last discussion we had, we went back and verified that all of the lots that were shown in the site plan are buildable. So that has now been resolved. And then we altered the plan to create a walkway to the proposed future park that will someday be developed adjacent to this parcel. And we took that linear footage and spread it across 27 feet. We have now 27-foot side yard setbacks. And we did not still on this layout, but we're on the layout, the previous layout.
So we are now looking for 8 feet.
What's that?
Variance of 8 feet.
On one road, and then it's still the same variance on the other.
25.
Yes.
So 10 foot, okay. So we're still looking for a 10-foot variance. But the application would indicate that which road will be,
Yeah, this
which road will be
is 8 feet, Amesbury's 8 feet, and Walden's 10 feet.
10 feet.
So we're doing the best we can to come up with a collaborative solution. We had a traffic study completed that we received yesterday, that I forwarded to, Mike,
Yes.
and,
If you want to see it.
I think that got passed on to everybody.
It is, it was on the website.
Yeah, so the traffic study indicated that they didn't
If
anticipate,
anybody wants to see, you can pass this.
any additional issues in terms of traffic for that area.
Okay. So
Basically-
no need for another egress.
So, yeah, there's no concern with the traffic.
Okay. So this gonna be part of the application, or do you want us to enter this?
You want to enter that into it. It's part of it. He added it on, and we posted it, so we're good.
Okay. So, but do you want to vote to enter it, or?
Yes, you could.
Okay, so we have a motion to accept the traffic impact study prepared by the.
I'll make the motion to accept the traffic study.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to add the traffic impact study to the application. Roll call vote, please.
Bruce Nippenberg,
Yes.
Scott Outline.
Yes.
Vince Murdocco,
Yes.
Sean Phillips, and Clay Poppy.
Yes. We do have one question over here real quick.
When were the hours of the study? What was the duration? What was the time? Is that public knowledge?
Yes, it's on the website.
It's on the website. I didn't know it was. Can you tell me about the short of it? How long was the study done?
Go ahead, you can speak to that.
I didn't even, I'm assuming most traffic studies are done at various parts of the day. And I'm assuming that that's all been covered in terms of, when they would have, I didn't bring the traffic study expert with me tonight.
I don't like assumptions. I mean, I like facts.
Well, all the facts are there.
Okay,
Yeah, so
because that's,
it's public knowledge and all the facts are there, and we hire professionals to do the
because
study.
I saw the fellow come out. It wasn't up very long. It was only up it was up and then it was down and then it was back up. So I don't know what times it was, because
Yeah, I apologize, I'm not a traffic study expert.
neither.
We hired a traffic study firm to do it, and that's all they do, they're reputable, and all the details are in the report, and it's on the site, you know.
Because it was not up very long. I mean, it was,
What are you saying, when it's not up very long?
it was up, I don't even know if it was up the
It's
full
saying
day.
that they weren't
When
there.
it's up, you're not spending.
The traffic
They-
study
yeah, they
camera
attached it to the
was there for
phone.
one day.
And it wasn't, I don't even know if it was up a full day. So it was up, and then they came back out, and then they took it down, and then they came back out and put it up again.
The problem that would lie with this is that the traffic study is done by a professional engineer in the state of Ohio. So the only way we could challenge the validity of a professional engineer would be to, get another professional engineer to say that that study is valid for whatever reason, and then you'd have to take it to court. But generally, it's almost like a doctor signing, if I'm not mistaken, Mike, it's like a doctor signing off once he signs his name as a PE to the study he's showing that that's accurate.
But that's why I'm asking, was it done like for a full 24-hour period, or was it monitored for an hour? There's a huge difference there. I mean, the duration of time, I mean, you could do it like during the day, from like 11 to noon, and not get anything. You could do it from 5 to 6 in the evening, you could get a big variety.
Mike, you're not a traffic engineer either, or even here for this particular job, but you're the PE in the room, so we'll ask you.
Yeah, so there are very standard specific procedures that both ODOT uses and the Portage County Engineer uses. And Prime AE is one of the top traffic consultants in Akron all the time. So they have no vested interest other than following the ODOT guidelines. So I haven't read the report myself either, but it's not just based on a 2-hour window of them taking traffic down. They take different traffic counts, that data is like extrapolated out using all kinds of other mathematical methods. So that's how they come up with it.
So according to just a brief, I'm not reading the whole thing, I'm just briefly glancing through it. According to ODOT, Melanie Road carried a 2019 annual average daily traffic volume of 1,103 vehicles, turning momentum or movement counts were performed by Prime. Prime is the company at the intersection of Malloy and Walton Drive. They were there apparently on Thursday, March 12th during the evening peak hours, and then again on Friday, March 13th during the AM peak hours. So that's when they were there. Hopefully that answers your question. The conclusion recommendation, this study was prepared to evaluate future traffic conditions within the study area, assuming the proposed development is constructed. Exiting and future traffic were analyzed using accepted traffic engineering practices detailed in the SHAMM, and it has been found that traffic operation will not be substantially affected by the proposed development if it were to be constructed. Therefore, Prime has no recommendations. And as he said, it is available online if you'd like to read the entire study.
It answered, yeah.
Traffic counts are done. I work for Stark County Regional Planning during my day job, and I work at SCATCH, which is Stark County Area Transportation Study. We do traffic counts every day, different parts of the county, 365 days of the year. So I think you read the dates in there were in March, which was before we had our meeting in April requested. So those counts are recent. So
Did he
it's not
say
necessary.
March or did he say May?
I think I said
May.
May.
Just like May.
May.
I have March also.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's like on page, it's the page right after the recommendation.
In any case, traffic counts are done.
I was thinking to myself when I read it that it was just last week.
Just
So the recommendation is framed in orange, and then
I see it.
just past that is when they did the study, the first paragraph, I think. I thought it was on this, it was right near that recommendation.
Then I got the recommendation. It's got the AM and PM trips in here. It says March.
March, okay, so it wasn't March.
In any case, what that doesn't make a difference between March and today. The counts are done on a regular basis, whether it's Stark County, Portage County, Southern, it doesn't matter, they're all done on a regular basis. There has to be a question, more to the point of not necessarily you saw someone out there for an hour the day that you saw or not, because there's other counts done where you probably didn't even see it being done.
So this is a slight increase over the separation.
Yes, I mean, we're doing the best we can to stretch it out as much as we can, and still make the math work.
And I believe this is one of our trustees, Nick Coyle, was here last meeting, and he said that he would talk to the fire department if we got rid of the one road that was stubbed out, because it was never going to be built because it goes into a park, but it then eliminated the need for the other access point. And since then, I know he's had conversations with the assistant fire chief, and there wasn't any issues that I'm aware of with that as we speak. But then they would still require, if this did get approved, it would still need a variance through the county for that. Yes.
So this one does not show the substreet, it's the stub street on the right. Okay.
But I'm not speaking on behalf of the fire department either, so they would still have to approve it.
Well, that's county, so. In which case, I guess if it's not approved, you'd have to put it back in and you would be looking at probably the 10 feet again. Instead of 8. Got it. But probably only on this side.
Well, we spread it out over that Williamsbury Road.
Sure,
So this, I don't know, to me makes more sense,
sure.
knowing what's gonna be there eventually.
But the front side didn't change.
No,
Same 10 feet you had last month.
right. This actually provides more of an amenity to the community, frankly, when the park's finished. When the park eventually happens, then, you know, that the community has access to the park, so I think that would be,
Okay. Are we doing sidewalks, lighting, so forth, everything?
doing everything that's required by, whatever the subdivision regulations are.
Okay. Portage County Regional. Do we have any other questions from the board? Okay, we had a couple of comments over here. Yeah.
All we're asking is for them to do the 35-foot spacing. I mean, I always held to that when I built my house. I wanted to build a 3-car garage. Chose not to move forward with the 3-car because I couldn't, because I had to have 35-foot spacing. And now, to build where I'm at, I got the garage. And, you know, why is it okay for him to ask for a smaller variance? When that's all I wanted was a 3-car, but I chose to have the country feel and the spacing of the houses. And that's why I built where I did.
Well, I understand, and you would have had the opportunity, or the builder would have had the opportunity at the time to request that variance. And then also the fact that I don't know what your homeowners association may or may not indicate as far as that. Right, so, you know, you would have had to deal with the homeowners association, but the option to go with a variance would still have been available to you at the time.
And as hard as it's hard to beat that, I mean, that you think as a new person coming into the neighborhood, I wouldn't have struggled with a variance like that. I'm just asking, I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
We try to do these on a case-by-case basis, and we try not to have one past decision affect the current decision. Those are taken out of consideration, basically. What they brought up earlier, we have all these new ones that are 15, 20 feet. Then those aren't the ones we're looking at.
I talk about it, this is from Brimfield, but it's the definition of a variance. And as far as not to be contrary to the public interest, I feel like not just our allotment, but we brought in letters, we brought in signatures, all that stuff. I feel like this is very contrary to the public interest. And it's also, the condition is peculiar to the property, like physical property things. None of this is physical constraints. You can build houses on there following regulations. It's monetary that they have to put them closer together to make sense for that. So nothing's stopping them physically on this lot from building. I think that's
Okay. Thank you. Do we have any other questions?
Yeah, the last time, and I apologize, I missed last month's meeting, but the last time I remember, you guys were in negotiation with them to come up with a consensus. What was the result of that?
I met with Jason and we tried to come up with a compromise that the neighbors weren't in agreement with, but we're still going down that path of what we did here, which is why we're trying to, we eliminated some units, we're trying to stretch out the variance that we asked for.
Does this meet that consensus?
There is no consensus.
There isn't one.
Right, but we tried.
Okay.
Like I said, we just want the 35-foot spacing. That's all we're asking for. We were held to that. And that's why we all live where we do, is because of the spacing and the houses are on top of each other.
So the talks aren't ongoing, but I'll talk to you after the
I don't see, so, I mean, I'm always open to sitting down and talking to everybody, but the issue is, you know, like we talked about last month, you know, times have changed compared to when the first phase went in, and that's why you're seeing, you know, 15-foot setbacks and stuff now, because the cost of the roads, the cost of construction, you know, all of those things have changed all the dynamics. You cannot, I mean, we have to pay somebody to take the land to comply with the 35-foot setbacks today. And, you know, that's not reasonable because, you know, it's just the cost of construction. That road's gonna be, you know, $1,200 a linear foot or whatever the latest number is. You know, back when the first phase went in, it was $300 a linear foot. That's how much times have changed. So that's really what's driving, you know, trying to come up with a collaborative solution and finish the community off and build homes that are gonna add value to the, you know, the first phase.
Homes are also a third of the cost of there now too, though.
Didn't hear you. I
I said
couldn't
homes
hear,
are also a third of the cost of they are now too, though.
I still didn't hear.
he said homes are
There's a giant,
a third of the cost of what they are today.
When they built theirs, the homes were cheap, were less expensive, that's what you're indicating?
yes.
Right, everything was,
Okay.
so it's expensive.
Right.
You know, the cost of the road is not, was equal to the cost of the house. Still, the cost of the road is equal to the cost of the house, even though they're, yeah, proportionate.
So Jim,
I just did some work and, I'm a subcontractor for ODOT. And, we just did some work in a neighborhood in Akron, just a couple days ago. And, I was kind of curious because it was Pennsylvania that was building the homes back then. So I was kind of curious, and they were 10-foot spacing homes from home to home. And for a 1,600 square foot home, it was priced for $237,000 for a 3-bedroom, 1,600 square foot home. So, I mean, there's much smaller homes for a lot more money now.
right,
You know, and just the spacing, it's a little bit of lot, there was like 60-some houses on this little bit of land, and they were so close together and just ridiculous. And that's what we're trying to keep from happening.
so what is the average size home going in, do you know? Have they indicated what they're building?
They're bigger than 1,600 square feet, I don't recall what the average was. But they were supposed to be at, what, 350,000, 375,000 on the way.
Okay, so what's the minimum size, do you know?
I don't recall it.
You don't know, okay.
Yeah, it would comply with the zoning.
Yeah, it's gonna comply.
Can I stop? I'm Ben Hoffman, I'm here on council for Mr. Fuby and his development group. I understand the argument about financial issues and considerations. It's not your job to enable developers to maximize their profits. No question about that. We're not asking you to do that. This is an area variance. It relates to an area regulation, namely the separation between homes. The considerations, first among considerations for area variances, according to the Supreme Court of Ohio, is the economic return. So it is a relevant issue, and what Mr. Fumy has stated repeatedly is that we're at a point where, given the current market conditions, given increasing construction costs over the last, well, certainly since phase one was approved, this property doesn't stand a chance without a variance. And they're hoping that the variance that they're asking for tonight, hopefully, is going to be sufficient. You've gone into the description, so I'll just leave it at that.
I think what some of the points that have been thrown around here about finances is with the cost, more with the higher cost of the road, that someone's gonna come in and because that road equaled out to 47 lots, if someone can spend 350, they're not gonna spend 355, that's gonna throw them over the edge and tell them not to buy it at all. Because the economics don't work, because it costs an extra $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, whatever it is, per lot on the cost of that home. But that's what I'm hearing when you say economics don't work, and I don't know how it doesn't pass up to the homeowner. It doesn't make any sense to me.
That, it's gonna be more than $5,000, or probably, I mean, after the developer makes a profit, and after Dominion marks it up to make a profit, then you're not $5,000 more differential, you're substantially greater than that. I mean, a substantial enough number that it makes it cost prohibitive to construct a home in the area.
So, but physically, you cannot make this road longer because of the land restrictions. So what you would be talking about would be having to eliminate a couple of lots.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, us being the landlord, we're not making any money. I mean, we're just trying to, wrap up a project. We lost money years ago when we started the profit. So we're just, that part's out of it, but to bring a developer in so they can turn a profit, and bring a builder in so they can turn a profit. And believe me, I beat the developer and I beat the builder down to keep that profit to a minimum. This is as good as it's gonna get. I mean, we've tried everything, done everything that we possibly could to try to meet the needs of the neighborhood to the best of our ability. I don't have anything else I can do.
The problem is that, and I'm trying to think of a concise way to say this, but I feel, and this is my opinion, that this community has been beaten to death by developers coming in. They buy the property, which is fine, and again, it's all fine. But I live in a development where we were high-end custom homes, blah blah blah. Developer ran out of money. Now I'm surrounded by Ryan homes, which are close together. So our house values aren't anywhere near what they're selling a brand new Ryan home for.
Where you live?
Over at Sugar Maple.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
Yeah, so we're getting hammered, and there were supposed to be 3 phases, and both phases are Ryan homes.
Right.
So I empathize with these people a ton because I'm going through it too. And it seems like this is a commonality now. And it's not your fault, it's not their fault, it's just the way it is. And I get it, you guys have to have the houses close together in order to make money, but we have to live with it. So
Scott, I appreciate what you're saying. And that's why I opened up a dialogue with Jason and the HOA, because unbeknownst, and that's why I got involved, because unbeknownst to me, there were other developers we thought we were selling land to that came in here and wanted 15-foot setbacks or whatever they are. That's not what the neighborhood wants. So we tried to come up with a compromise, but the phenomenon you just described is not just a phenomenon that's happening in Brimfield. It's happening all over the country.
I understand.
That doesn't mean we have to follow everyone.
No, I understand.
And to your
I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is, we have tried to collaborate and try to come up with some sort of compromise. Instead of us sitting here and saying, okay, we can do whatever they did across the street of Sugar Maple, which I'm sure we'd be allowed to do. That's not the solution. The solution is, me listening to Jason, us trying to come up with a compromise, me going back to the developer, me going back to the builder, and say, you've got to live with X versus X squared. And this is the only way this project works. And I don't know if, maybe I say this the right way. I don't know if there's many landlords that would try to go through this, paying for a traffic study that we knew ahead of time, based on our experience, was going to come out the way it did.
Yeah, and
we're trying so hard.
And I get it, and that's why I was really hanging
And
my
I'm
hat.
sorry.
No. It's not your fault. That's not anybody's fault. The difference is, though, is you guys leave, we have to live with it. But that being said, I was really hanging my hat on the compromise that you guys were hopefully coming up with.
Yeah, that was,
That's because that's the solution. That's the solution.
Wow, we're at 27 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying. I mean, they want 35. That's not compromise.
Yeah.
I mean, we're trying. We were at 20, a couple months ago. We're trying to collaborate. We're trying to compromise. they're not coming off, the homeowners aren't coming off 35 feet. There's no collaboration.
What's the difference between the 35 feet and the 27 feet? How many houses?
We've been through this. Economically, it doesn't, we lose, I don't know, X number of homes, and it just does not work for the developer, and it does not work for the builder. This is the best we got. This is all I have. I've done the best I could, and I'm so sorry. I'm so apologetic, but this isn't right. And it's like, if it's not, I can't do anymore. I don't know what else to do.
I think that basically, as far as the homeowners go, you basically still like the laws on our side. So, variance.
Well, there has to be a compromise though. And I understand, again, I empathize with you. I'm living it. I'm right there with you. But, you know, he's not the cause of this. So that's what I'm saying. There has to be a middle ground somewhere.
Like I said, we've talked and they've been good talks and everything, but it's just a matter of trying to get everyone hand and thread that if you don't do what we want to do, we're going to sue thing. So
But this doesn't.
that's what
just-
kind of threw everyone off was that.
This doesn't just affect the people that live in the homeowners association.
That also, yeah.
I mean, the influx in that area is off the charts.
Well, that's happening everywhere. I mean,
It isn't happening everywhere in Brimfield, it's happening right there in Brimfield.
Oh, you're dealing with it where you live.
yeah, I mean, no matter where you go, at some point, things are gonna change.
Right?
And
Brimfield has become very
I
popular.
understand their situation, I understand your situation. The problem is, somewhere you have to come, you know, he's done everything that we've asked him to do. And somewhere you guys have to get together and reach a compromise, because otherwise that land's gonna sit there and you don't know what's gonna happen down the road.
The bottom line is the land either sits there empty or he gets his separation. So you guys, if you don't come up with a compromise, that's all we have left.
I mean, you're at 35 feet and you're not gonna budge from 35 feet. He's trying, I mean, as a developer, they're trying. You have to understand, I mean, everybody's a developer's here, you know, you say, well, he's in there for the bucks. Anybody in here is in here for money. I mean, you're not gonna just give the thing away just to get rid of it. He's trying to help you. You guys need to try and help him. Work something out. That's all we're asking. I mean, I've gone through the same thing down where I live. It's a mess. And I'm the president of the association, so I get all the help, you know?
And then he calls me.
And I, you know, we work it out with the developer. We worked it out with the unit owners. It's, you know, nobody's happy. That's you know, something has to give. And you know, I always use the thing, it's progress. You know, years ago, everything was a farmland. Well, that's changing. So now you have to kind of try and accommodate all of those areas. End of my sermon.
I just got a question, you know, with the influx of all the neighborhoods like you both have been discussing or talking about, and what's going in currently, that hasn't been built yet, right down on the way there, and what Jared wants to do, what's that gonna do to the schools for Brimfield?
So we had a study done. We did it's a 2050 comprehensive land use plan that we just finished up last year. And we had all the department heads, fire, police, schools, everybody was involved. The schools endorsed it, they loved the plan, we were there. Actually gave it to them, went to the school board meeting, met with the superintendent, had them involved as well. It shouldn't impact it. It shouldn't have great impact on the school.
Brimfield's maxed out right now in their
Talking
classrooms.
about moving the school.
They are, yeah, 100% maxed out.
Yeah, there's.
I'm aware of that. I meet monthly with the superintendent and also my wife teaches at the school. So, yeah, I'm pretty familiar with the class sizes and what she deals with. So,
Kids, 100.
but yeah, it is, you are accurate. It seems like Suffield doesn't have as many of the kids. I know that there's a plan that, you know, I don't want to speak for schools because that's the superintendent's job, but I think there's a plan going forward with what he's doing up in Central.
I guess back to her point was too, as far as not just the HOA, we turned in 61 signatures last time, out of 61 people we talked to. And there's only 15 residents or 15 homes in Long Point, so that was from the whole surrounding, that was Klein Road, that was Norway Road, that was Sugar Maple Hills, that was the whole area. It's not just the homeowners that are hired this, like just the homeowners association that's hired this.
But again, I sit on this board, and I had to vote for Ryan Holmes to be in that neighborhood, okay? And they're going to be there regardless of whether it's living with your enemy. So, you know, if you guys are willing to sit down and talk with them and come up with a consensus, that's the best solution.
Well, yeah, I mean, it didn't come up, I'll say that, but it was this or nothing.
Yeah.
So,
Well, can we have, you know, time to meet with the homeowners of the neighborhood to come up with a compromise and revisit it next month? I mean, is that an option? So we can come give you your compromise that you're asking for. I mean,
I asked for that meeting 6 months ago, 8 months ago, and was denied the meeting. And we've done, here again, I came here and added 2 feet, or what's that, 4 feet, 8 feet, yeah, I just came here and added 2 feet side yard setbacks that I didn't know that we were gonna be able to get until after we visited, you know, the termination road into the park. I didn't add more units, I added more side yard setbacks. There's nothing more we can do from a plan standpoint. We are at the minimum. And again, I mean, keep in mind, we got involved with this project prior to the Great Recession. I'm not sitting here, we lose money every year. I'm not sitting here making any money, we're not gonna make any money. And we're trying to complete a project that should be completed. There's nothing more really to discuss. I can't go to 46 units or 45 units we've been there. I've had those conversations with Jason. I've asked for a meeting with the homeowners. Nobody wanted to meet. And this is where we're at. And again, I apologize. I'm doing the best I can. And I'm sorry if it's not good enough.
got to you, Mr. Lyon, just got to you.
Oh.
You guys say you do 42 lots last time, with the 5 unbuildable lots?
the way that he was questioning.
Remember that yellow?
Right, we verified that these are all buildable. That's right. I was unsure if 5 of them were buildable. But now I'm telling you right now, all 47 lots are buildable.
Yes.
So you can't spread those 47?
No.
42?
No,
That you got last week, or last month?
no, I didn't say that last one. I said I need to verify.
You said that those 5, you weren't sure if they were buildable or not.
But now he's verified that they can be built.
Yes.
But he didn't calculate it into a 42.
So now that you got 35 feet.
No, we were always at 47, subject to 5 questionable 5 lots that I have some verified that they were buildable.
But you do it 42 lots, why can't you do it 42 lots now?
No, we were at 47 before.
Okay,
Five
so,
unbuildable.
hold on, at this point, the applicant, I think, would like an answer. And we understand, I would have to ask at this point if there are no more questions from the board, do we have a motion to either accept or deny the application as designed? 10-foot variance on Walden Drive, 8-foot variance on Asbury Drive. Is that correct?
I have one question.
Sure.
And thank you for letting me ask it. And if it's already been discussed, I apologize.
That's already been discussed.
It has.
Yep.
Okay.
It's okay.
That's what happens when you're late.
Thank you.
Thank
He's
you.
gonna bill you for that. You should have let him ask it.
No, no,
Yeah, it's true too. We got, there's no additional based on traffic study.
Is the motion up or down?
I begrudgingly am going to make a motion that we accept the variance for the 10 feet on Walden and the 8 foot on Amesbury.
I'll second it.
Yes, we have a motion and a second to grant a 10-foot variance on Walden. That gives you your 25-foot separation. And an 8-foot variance on Asbury, which is a 27-foot separation. If we could have a roll call, please.
Oh, sorry. Need my glasses. Bruce Nippenberg,
Yes.
Scott Etling. Yes. Vince Madako,
Yes.
Sean Phillips, Clayton Poppett.
Yes.
Thank you for your time and help.
Thank you.
It's still a matter of the October minutes, which you've been very kind to hold off on. If I can request that you put a procedural heading, if you're inclined to approve the minutes, you do it subject to action on reconsideration taken this evening. I'm not asking for any language in the minutes to be changed, but if it's approved as is, that
Can you hold on 1 second, because we're being recorded and she's at home and she's typing the minutes as we speak.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we should be here.
Thanks. And I apologize if I'm out of order, but I know that the minutes from the October meeting were never approved yet.
Correct.
I don't know if they're on the agenda for this evening or not.
They were not, but we could amend the agenda and add it at the end.
The only thing that I would ask is that they are approved subject to action taken at this evening's meeting. Because we're considering it the same variance application, just revised.
Correct. You're right.
So it's to not have a conflict with the two.
What was the date of that again? It was October, was it? October. Yeah.
Want to do that, go to the order right now?
Yeah, you could do it right now, so while he's here, we could just amend the agenda first and then to include that, the minutes on the agenda, get that vote, and then do the amendment.
I would need then a motion to amend the agenda to also approve October's minutes.
I'll make a motion to amend
We
the,
have on here.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and second to amend the agenda so as to accept or deny October's minutes. Roll call vote, please.
Bruce Nippenberg,
Yes.
Scott Etling. Yes. Vince Madako.
Yes.
Sean Phillips.
Yes.
Clayton Poppett.
Yes.
Okay. I like the way he said it.
Now, the only catch to this is the people that were here in that October meeting would have to vote to approve those minutes. So if they weren't here on that October meeting,
I think we all.
I believe they were all here.
I was
Except for
there.
Phil. Okay, good.
Oh, I don't remember yesterday.
So the amendment would be subject to action taken this evening.
The approval will be subject to this action tonight. Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay. Motion and second to approve October's minutes based on the action taken this evening.
Subject
Roll call, please.
Bruce Nippenberg,
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Madako.
Yes.
Sean Phillips. Clayton Poppett.
Yes.
Minutes are approved. We did not get anything.
And again, I know you're not the problem.
But trustees who won the.
Yes.
Made a vote.
Just, you've been patient.
I understand that because you're going
Ron
Same thing.
considered it. And he's
I was
like,
hoping
and he says, I really
You
don't
guys
have a
were working out,
problem.
but it seemed like they just had an impasse.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Ron
You are welcome to stay or leave.
Ron tomorrow.
Yeah. He says, I'm gonna get the hell out of
Thank
here.
you.
Thanks, Italy.
Take care.
Okay, thank you.
And we get something right.
No more developers.
What's that?
No more developers.
No more trouble. Okay, hopefully these are simpler then. All
I hope
right.
so, I just want to put a sign up.
Okay, let's just go over the report from last meeting.
Yeah,
So.
some of the reasons.
Now the question is, how big?
Yeah, sometimes they're. easy.
Yeah, sometimes there's, you shouldn't have said that.
Last time we had some.
It's only 20 feet away from his house.
Oh,
And I think as long as the town's behind, with the board, I think.
big right fight.
All right. Our next application is also continued. This is for Grant Oil LLC, applicant Michael James.
It's Michelle James.
So Michelle, I'm sorry. It does say Michelle. I just,
Yeah.
oh, it actually says Michael.
It says Michael.
It does say Michael.
That's okay.
That's all right. Michelle or Michael is not here.
Variance request, applicant is requesting a variance for a sign face greater than 32 square feet. Zoning resolution section 700.13.c. Sign shall, or sign face shall not exceed 32 square feet. Okay, tell us what it is you want.
So we have an existing pylon sign. I don't know because I came in on this project after the variance meeting was already set. For this marathon station, we've got a rendering of the existing, which you guys don't have it. But then we have
They're adding to the bottom, this diesel sign.
the diesel sign to the
Yeah, I
bottom.
think we had it still from last month.
So you're not increasing height or anything like that?
No,
It's just,
existing sign is
just-
just adding additional cabinets.
So instead of having your diesel cost that higher than one.
and they've done actually a nice job on this marathon. I must say that they cleaned it up pretty good.
Yes, this is how high do your numbers go?
We're gonna have more activity in this area as we have our storage units getting started behind.
Okay.
So
All right, so what are we looking for? How much additional? It would be both sides, two-sided sign, I'm assuming.
Yes, and in my experience, locations, and I understand that, ordinances change, but in most cases with existing pylons, we usually count square footage of one side as like total square footage. Is that different in Brimfield?
Yes.
Okay, so based on what we have, we're looking at a 36 by 66 and a quarter wide diesel sign being added to it. And I apologize, I don't have overalls, but I can certainly provide that, and I can certainly send it to where you guys would have an overall scope of what total signage square footage would be.
Would you say by what?
36 inch by 66 and a quarter. It goes a little over 16.
I shouldn't do math.
Is what it said.
Yeah.
66, 500 feet.
Yeah.
Residential road.
So it's 3 feet wide?
Yes, sir. No, it's 500.
Oh, okay, 5, so the width is already there.
It's 3 feet high.
Okay.
The sign is already 5 feet wide from post to post.
Yeah, right now we have it from here up.
So it's not much, right?
It's close.
I mean, your variance is a couple inches. Really?
well, no, because it would be counting all this, the
You have to count
the
that.
entire pylon sign. So this whole thing.
Oh, okay.
So this was a variance at one point, and he's adding to the variance.
Okay.
This additional.
But he's not adding, okay, yeah.
No, we don't know the total unless we just grant the.
The additional. You could
The additional
grant the additional.
To include, but we need that square footage.
I can provide that.
Yeah, go ahead. What is that?
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have it right now, but I can add the total square footage up. I can get you guys a rendering with the overall.
It's 3 foot high, right?
3 foot 5, 5 foot 5, 5 foot 6. So
It's like 15 and a half, 17, something like
I'm
that.
gonna get the engineer to answer that question.
Hey, so where were you on that one?
Yeah,
I got my phone turned
I
on.
got my phone turned on.
16 and something, I believe.
It's like I use AutoCAD, I can't divide fractions unless I'm drawing them.
You can do the same thing.
Yeah, 16 and a half.
Yeah, that's what I said, it's not,
So 33 additional square feet.
yeah, is it 16 and a half? Yeah, that's, okay.
Yeah, if it's
So there you go.
if
So
it's 5 and a
we'll
half
just
by
do-
3, then that's
So
what
just,
it is.
approve- you can approve the variance on each side.
What
Yeah.
was the variance on the original sign?
Well, I don't know what was in it at that time, because I don't know what the code said when this sign was put in.
So is there a provision when you're already over and then getting another variance?
I would just say an additional square footage to the sign, because we're not adding height to it. So if we were adding height, then I would get the exact dimensions, but we're not.
He's adding basically another 34 square feet on each side.
Right, to the sign face.
To the existing
But
sign.
not to the actual sign.
Right.
Right.
So he's adding, 34 square feet on
Both sides.
both sides.
Collaborative.
Right.
Yes.
What's
That was
that gonna leave, what's that gonna leave from the ground?
I don't know. I can find that out as well if you'd like.
So I'm just
As far as.
curious as far as.
It's about 4 or 5 feet.
The rendering actually has
It doesn't
in
look-
there, I mean, kind of has some, shows some visibility there.
Yeah, you're probably about 4 or 5 feet.
So it means basically as long as when you're sitting in a, say, a truck, you can still see down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it could. So it's got a existing bollard there, and it's higher than that, so you're looking at about 40.
So do we want all the information before voting, or do you want to just make a motion on the additional 33 square feet?
I think we can make a motion on the
I
additional
don't see
33.
any problem with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I make a motion that we accept the variance of 33 square feet on each side of the existing pylon sign.
I'll second that.
We have a motion to grant you 33 square feet. Variance,
Bruce Nippenberg,
yes.
Scott Etling. Yes. Vince Bernacco.
Yes,
Sean Phillips. Clayton Power.
Yes.
Okay, you're all approved. You still need to grab the permits from us, so call Lauren in the morning.
Very good. Thank you very much.
good luck.
Thank you.
It'll look really nice, I promise.
Well, the other part does, so.
So we have our next, thank you. Our next application is a zoning conditional use applicant. Applicant J. R.S. Development, same owner. Conditional use request. Applicant is requesting conditional use approval to operate mini self-storage unit. Zoning resolution section 309.02B.12. Mini/self-storage facility subject to the provisions of chapter 4 and sections 400.10.b, subsection 52.
This one is already approved, so you guys are aware, they made some changes to it, and I asked them to come back with the changes.
Okay, so this is which location?
Yeah, we were here, a couple months ago, earlier this year.
Oh, yeah.
And at that time, I'm sorry, Mike Woolman Engineering representing JRS Development tonight. When we were here last time, we were doing these first 3 buildings. This is the end of Highway View, this is 26 down by the town road. The original plan was always to, eventually do storage buildings on the same thing, on the whole site. But as we got into pricing out the buildings and pricing out the site work, it became obvious that it made sense to do 6 buildings in phase 1 instead of just 3. And that was due to the stormwater design, and also, as we talked to the insurance company and that sort of thing, it made more sense to bring the water line down Highway View. So we need to spread the cost of bringing the water line down over 4 buildings. So we're gonna do 6 buildings as part of phase 1, bring the water line from Talmadge Road all the way down to the cul-de-sac, which will let all those other businesses tie into that as well. So I think that's for the greater good.
It's a big plus for us.
So we're gonna drop a hydrant right here, and that'll provide fire service for all of these buildings down the road. This will no longer be a fire pond that has its own maintenance headaches. We've talked to Assistant Chief Goodspeed, fire is, as far as I know,
They're
they're
very
very happy with it.
They're very happy because we bring water.
We've showed them fire truck routing through the whole site. So really, we're here just to show a larger phase one to help pay for the site work, pay for the water. We'll be coming back and we do the remaining, potentially 7 buildings a year or more down the road. Other than that, same use, same fencing, same general layout.
Like I was talking today, it's like between storage units and car washes, they're popping up everywhere.
Got 6 storage unit projects.
Really?
It's crazy.
We're in the wrong line of work.
I know.
So is this the one where the first 3 are like indoor storage?
The first building is now gonna be an indoor storage,
Okay.
plus some outdoor storage. The remainder are all gonna be more your traditional.
Garage door, outdoor.
So this is the climate control units. The rest of these are gonna be just your traditional, like, unheated outdoor access. Eventually, we'll be an office in the front corner of the building, so that's another reason we brought the water line down.
So you
So
just
we're
need-
saying we're moving to a non-captive are we,
Not in this proposal.
So we just need to approve the 6 buildings instead of the 3?
Instead of the 3.
there's no water going down Highway 2 now,
They're all wells.
they're all wells.
I was excited to hear this when he called it. I'm like, well, we still have to go to the board, but.
That's why, to pay for the $150,000 water line.
I'll make the motion to approve the additional 3 units.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the additional 3 units, expanding it to 6.
Bruce Nippenberg,
Yes.
Scott Etnick,
Yes.
Vince Murdocco,
Yes.
Sean Phillips, Peggy Papa.
Yes.
Shall make you, good luck.
Thanks, Michael. Tell Joe I said thanks for the water. Scasio's still, right?
Put this all on like that.
David Hall, maybe it's just.
So anything for the good of the order?
A lot going on. There's a lot going on. We have stuff everywhere being built. Lauren and I are running ragged right now, but it's all good stuff. Barbecue place coming in Cascades. That's the newest one that's popping up today. Dick's Barbecue. I think they called you too, didn't they?
Yeah, we're working on part of that.
That's gonna be over in Cascade.
Right next to Belltown here in Cascade. Aldi started. Vince, you've seen them today.
Yep.
Valvoline started.
Yep.
Jiffy Lube's doing good. The nursing home's gonna open this fall. You worked on that project
This summer,
This is
Just like
garbage.
moving along pretty good.
Did they say anything about that dirt mound when they were removing the dirt mound? I get all kinds of calls on that.
as soon as they can find somebody to
What group?
Really?
behind the building, so I think it's gonna be gone.
It's
sooner
funny,
rather than
I'm doing a Salsa facility now, but once
Just
they
don't
can't
stack
get
the
rid of
foot.
it, they can't find trucks. They can't find a big truck.
Well,
later. If you
that's,
need dirt, you can't find it. If you have dirt, you can't get rid of it.
Yeah, well, they can't find drivers and they can't find trucks.
So eventually a project can come around.
we have a lot of dirt by me too.
Yes, you do. You've got a ton of dirt down there. And then we've got the signs gonna be, started, 2 sections. We've got the one at Talmadge. That's gonna be started for the new Brimfield sign coming in there. And then the other one going near Bootstown, that's gonna be started on. Everything's surveyed and laid out, staked out. We had them all.
Has anything been proposed in the other, what is it, 8 lots next to Aldi's or?
Yes, we had one I turned down already, because we took uses not covered out of the book. So there was something that was planned on there. I won't disclose what that is. That won't make everybody happy either. So we turned it down. But they can't even apply to you guys for that one. They were a little bit like I said, they were a little bit unhappy. I'll tell you, it was like a Speedway. Speedway wanted to put another one down there. And I says, you already have one there. And the guy I was speaking to was like, we do? And I'm like, we got a ton of trucks here. We just went through this approval down there. Like,
Did all this.
You can't go in there. He's like, yeah, but Meyer has one. And I'm like, yeah, but they got it before the code changed. But yeah, there's some other stuff in the works. We have What the biggest thing that happened today at the trustee meeting is that we fast tracked Kenda Tire coming in, Martin Wheel.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
I don't know if you watched the meeting, but we have 629 funds that we got from ODOT. We have 550 on one and 150 on another to help extend Maple Crest Parkway back to allow Kenda Tire to come back in. Then we have another 26 acres behind Hamrick Manufacturing, which is under construction right now. The thing is that it has to be fast tracked because we need the gas line in for Hamrick, number one. Number two is we don't want the funds to lose the funds. And the county engineer is inundated with work right now and couldn't handle it fast enough. So we ended up hiring an attorney that handles 629 funds from Southern Ohio. He came up and represents several townships. He's working with the prosecutor's office to fast track this. GBC Engineering is going to do the specs, give it to the county. The county's just going to do a review, give it back, but we're doing a public bid on it. It privately is all the work. They're going to hand it to us. We're going to bid it, give it back to them and say, here you go. So it's a unique situation. Probably the first time it's ever happened here in Portage. But then again, we just learned that this is the first project with 629 funds in Portage as well. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what DeHoff was saying this morning. And, which is good news because we plan on going after 629 funds all the time. So, yeah, and there's a TIF involved. So there's a lot of legalities.
Oh, yeah, there's.
We had to have an attorney handle this project because not only that, and fast tracking it, and then we're not paying. So we had to approve it, but the funds are being paid out of the TIF for the attorney. So it's at no cost for us. It's a unique situation, but when you do public money and TIFs and abatements and 629, we needed somebody to make sure it's all legal.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a big undertaking, and that's, of course, you get attorneys involved. That's all emails all day long. And Mike calls me with a question. I'm like, wait a minute, I'll call you tomorrow. I gotta review all this
Bring
stuff.
something else in here.
So yeah, we're inundated. It's a good time in Brimfield though. If you like economic development, it's a perfect time.
We'll get back to you.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else? Next meeting, June 1st,
Then we had that training.
and that's 6:30.
Yeah.
6:30.
6:30, I think we vote for
That's
Mark
what
to
we
come.
did last time, right?
Okay, so June 1st, 6:30, that's our training meeting. And then the next zoning appeals meeting, do we have anything yet, Fred?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. Okay.
I will officially not be here.
All right, so that would be June 15th.
You won't be here for the 15th.
Yeah, I won't be here for 15. Somebody said he would be here.
Okay. We might not have anything. I don't think there's anything right now. So.
We don't have anything else right now, so anyway.
Oh, actually, there might be. I take that back. There was one development that is not a housing development, but it's more like I can't tell you where it is yet because it's still confidential, but it's more like a redwood type thing. It's a good use for where it is going right now. There's really nothing else that fits where they're proposing. So that might give you some indication of where it's at, but it's several people have tried to purchase this and then they up the fees at the last minute. This one, they finally came to an agreement. It's a good use for this land and it's owned correctly.
Okay.
So that might be coming in June.
So we have a definite June 1st and a maybe June 15th.
Correct.
Okay.
Wait. Our next meeting is at 6:30 on the 15th.
Our next meeting is on June 1st.
June 1st is
6:30.
is training.
That's a training meeting.
That's going to be once a year, or we might even do every other year, depending on what the trustees would like. If nothing changes, I would say every other year. If something changes in the law, then
I
I'd say
think the
every year.
suggestion was it will take about 2 hours. That was
This board is so educated with the public and doing things, I think it'll go in an hour.
I'm just saying,
we're pretty good.
that's what we were talking last.
I mean, talking with Mark and
Yeah.
even when Chad did it back, I mean,
Right.
You guys been through this. It's just something that the trustees would like to see, you know.
Okay.
And then, William's new to the board, so it just helps.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Yeah,
The meeting on the 15th, of course, will be at 7 normal time. Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
There's no second.
Second.
Due to a lack of motion, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. Roll call, please.
Bruce Lippenberg.
Yes.
Scott Allen.
No.
Vince Monaco.
Yes.
Chuck Tubbs. Clayton Popick.
Yes.
Okay, sold.
Uh,
I was there.